Hi, welcome back. I'm Sally Abel. I'm a physiotherapist with a special interest in pain, and this is...
I'm Peter Lansett, and I'm a hypnotist and hypnotherapist with an interest in pain too. Emotional pain, physical pain, any kind of pain.
And together we've started Living Well with Sally and Pete. So if you've been catching up with us previously, then we've been doing some bits on pain management, haven't we?
We certainly have, and some neuroscience as well.
Yeah,
we did a little video, did we not, about neuroplasticity, which you can go back onto our channel or onto our Facebook page and you can find those and you'll be interested, I'm sure.
Yeah, and what we're trying to do from both of our perspectives is to fuse the science with mindfulness, meditation, drumming, all of the other stuff, hypnotherapy.
Yeah, and everything that involves living well and finding that road to happiness, whatever happiness means for you personally.
Yeah, and I think we've found over time in both of our professions that there is this underpinning of science and evidence with everything that we do, but actually it's not that well known in some cases, is it?
It's not, and we're going to do something today that you perhaps hadn't thought of from a scientific point of view and from a wellness point of view, from a therapeutic point of view. Take it away, Sally. What are we doing today?
Well, if you've been following us on Facebook, on our Living Well with Sally and Pete Facebook, we've posted some of these videos, and last time I said we were going to do something on drumming. And we've also been putting some wellness tips for Christmas. So what we thought we'd do is we thought we'd combine the two, didn't we?
Yep.
So for this one, we're going to do some drumming. So we've got some drums here. You made these, didn't you, Pete?
I didn't. I brought these. I have made frame drums, and I should have perhaps brought my own frame drum in. But I wanted us to have the same tone.
Yes. So these, I think you're going to post a link to.
I will. I'll post a link onto an eBay site where, if you really become interested in drumming, and I recommend that you do, you can get a frame drum at very reasonable prices. Let's see how this works out for you.
Now, drumming is great, and personally I hadn't done much of it until we got together and Pete started to show me the benefits of it. So really, if you're not into particular meditation or mindfulness, it's just another way that you can start to develop those mindfulness skills, those meditation skills, a way of switching off. And almost a phrase I read in a book a few weeks ago was putting your mind on standby.
That's a really good phrase. And it's like the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, we disconnect them so that the conscious mind, with all of its busyness and its worries and its troubles, can go off and go on about its business, but we can heal, we can find that calm and that inner sense, and we can actually put ourselves back together again, far away from the stress.
And I guess in the West we might be quite far behind some of these meditative advances, because we were saying earlier that thousands and thousands of years have gone by where people have used drumming in order to get to that central state, to find their inner self, to listen to their inner self. Is that right?
That's true. I mean, shamanic drumming, like shamanism, don't worry, we're not going down any strange paths, but shamans use drumming. People will tell you that they use psychedelic drugs, and some cultures do, but most cultures around the world that have shamanic journeying as part of their cultural therapy use drums. They use sound and they use rhythm, and it's drums, and it's usually, well, quite often a frame drum like this, skin on wood. We're not going to go into the science of how this works, but it will take you into that really calm meditative state. The pattern that you would typically use is something called the eagle heartbeat, but it's 3 to 4 beats per second, but we're going to do something different this evening.
Yes, I think we wanted it to be Christmas related because we're doing our countdown to Christmas.
That's right.
And so we're going to talk through, well, Pete's going to talk through a lovely Christmas related meditative drum practice.
Now, we're going to drum now. I mean, listen to this. So that eagle heartbeat is, but we're not going to do that. Today we're going to use drumming to connect with something beautiful about the winter landscape. We're going to connect with a winter forest where the trees are covered in snow and there's snow on the ground and the ice is sparkling. Maybe you can imagine it's nighttime when we do this, because I want you to try to get into this as you're watching the video or just listening to the video. And what we're going to do is we're going to connect with the forest itself, and the calmness and the quiet of a forest in the snow at night. Feel those animals that are hibernating through the winter and how calm they are and how slow their heartbeat is. The animals that are still roaming about in the forest and enjoying the winter and the calm of the forest. And we're going to drum that kind of calm into us. And this is really a therapeutic exercise, and you'll find that drumming really works well for that.
You really get absorbed in it, don't you?
Yeah.
It overcomes you, and you sort of really get engrossed in the beat.
Yep.
And the just the stillness that it creates.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create that forest atmosphere. Now, if you want to, feel free to close your eyes. You know, I know it's a video, but you may want to do this. We're only going to drum for maybe a minute. I just want to get you to get the idea of what this feels like. So if we just start this off, and you can just take a nice, comfortable breath and just get yourself as relaxed as you can, and then let the drum take that relaxation even deeper. So if I start, that's right. So if your eyes are closed, you can do this. Just imagine that you are in a beautiful northern pine forest. That's right. With snow on the ground, ice and snow on the trees and on the branches, and it's quiet, still, very peaceful in that forest, and you can just let yourself wander through the forest and allow that calm and that quiet to connect with you. That's right. And maybe you see animals in the forest. It's nighttime. Maybe there's an owl in the trees. Maybe an owl flying from one tree, looking for food. And perhaps in that forest there's a wolf in tune with the forest, as you're in tune with the forest, and now you connect with the wolf and all of that wolf's calm, confident, natural energy. Wolf and the forest and the quiet, and your heartbeat begins to slow as you find the relaxation of the forest. And we're going to stop there, because we could go on and on and on. I mean, I run these therapeutic workshops, and we drum for a long time, and I don't always talk all the way through it. There comes a point where we just let go and we have the experience. But what you do find is that your blood pressure will drop. Which it will when you go into a meditative state anyway, so that's naturally going to happen. Your heartbeat just slows and calms.
And you start to release different chemicals from the brain
That's
as
true.
well, and they will work on the nervous system. That helps to calm the nervous system down. So if you're feeling particularly stressed or anxious, this kind of stuff works really, really nicely to reduce those stress chemicals.
That's right.
And to produce those anti-stress chemicals.
Anti-stress chemicals.
Anti-stress.
Sounds like something from science fiction, but they do exist, and we do create them. And drumming's been doing this for thousands of years without people understanding the science behind it. But now the science is explaining how it works, which I find fascinating. You know, it's like this thing has been around for a long time. We have scientific processes that now kind of validate something that we've been using for thousands of years as human beings. So I think it's really great that these two things are coming together, the science and the practice, which is older than the hills. Well, certainly as old as the hills.
I think you find this a lot. I think Western medicine particularly is on catch-up, trying to find out exactly why stuff works, but we're getting there slowly, which is what it does.
I mean, in the Far East, for example, things that are considered to be alternative here have been mainstream there and still are mainstream, even in the scientific world. Things like energy medicine, qigong in China and so on, and lots of energy practices. But they all link in with these age-old practices. And one thing we didn't mention, of course, is that you can drive this. I was using this pattern. It was just a nice way of entering the forest, but in the forest, you can slow down. You don't have to walk at the same pace. And something really incredible happens. When you start leading the pace like that, your body will follow suit. And your heart rate will slow even more. You will actually find yourself in the most comfortable and appropriate rhythm pattern for you. Now, what happens if you go too slow and your heart starts? It can't happen. Your unconscious mind will only allow you to go at the rate that's entirely appropriate for you.
That's amazing, isn't it?
It's called entrainment. I mean, we won't go into entrainment here. Maybe we'll do that in a different
We'll
one.
have to do that a different time, What about if I hadn't got one of these drums at home?
Well, that's not a problem. I will put this drum down and pretend that I don't have a drum at home. Well, we are coming up to Christmas, so everybody's going to have at least one tub of celebrations or heroes or something. Seriously? And do you need a drumstick? No. Use your fingers. Oh, look at this. I'm tapping on the back of my hand. That will do it too.
Or your leg? Or
your leg, or the arm of a chair, anything to hand. On plane flights, I do this. I go on a meditative journey of my own creation, and I'll be sitting in the plane and I'll just be tapping away. If anybody notices, I couldn't care less. Who's going to say anything on a plane? You know, nobody turns to you in the next seat and says, "What the hell are you doing?" They don't. Well, it's certainly not happened yet, anyway. And then
maybe if I sit next to you on the plane, I'll ask you.
That could well be the case, but and then I'll tell you. So, but you can use anything. You can use a stick on a box. You can do whatever you like. Anything where you can just get that rhythm. It's the rhythm that counts, not necessarily the sound. There is something that the sound of a frame drum will do, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're just talking about a rhythm that takes your mind and your body into a state of wonderful, perfect relaxation that works just well for you.
Great stuff.
It's good. So that's drumming, and you know we will talk more about drumming if you ever come to workshops with Sally and I, whether it's online or not. We'll be doing drumming practice. Even if you don't have a drum, we'll show you how you can join in those workshops. We're going to be talking about what next? What's the next one going to be, Sally?
It's got to be something Christmas related.
It's going to be something Christmas related, because we've still got that run up to Christmas.
We have.
I don't know what it is we're going to be doing in the next video, but we're going to find something that's part of our run up and countdown to Christmas that we think is going to be of the greatest benefit to you, to help you get through what for some people can be a very stressful time, even though it's enjoyable. You know, it can still be stressful, and so we've got tips and techniques. Lonely. For some people, very
lonely.
We're going to give you tips to get through that too.
Maybe that's what we can do.
And that's what we'll do next. Well done. That came straight out of nowhere, didn't it?
It did,
oh, you're so clever. So there you go. Neuroscientist, everybody. And we'll leave it off there, and we hope to see you next time. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please feel free to like the page, and we'll be posting more videos, handy tips and so on as we go along, and we are going to be announcing some workshops online. We are allowed, believe it or not, to actually run therapeutic workshops live here, but we can only have 6 people at a time here, and you will be socially distanced if you come in. But we will be running some live workshops, because we know that some people enjoy that more, and they feel more of a connection with the work that they're doing. So we'll be announcing those as we go along on our website. So thanks everyone, and have a great day. I hope you do well with whatever it is you're doing.
Bye.
See you next time. Bye.